Hey guys, Ben here with Oddly Armed, and today we're going to be doing another disassembly video, this time of a Springfield Hellion, also known as the VHS, way better name. So let's go ahead, get into it, and tear it down. Alright, to start things off, let's go ahead and pop out our magazine, and then the first step is going to be pushing this cross pin across. So this is going to be a captive pin, really nice, just at the back of the receiver here. So pull that across, and then all you have to do is pull back and up a little bit on the butt pad. This will break open a little bit. Then you just wiggle it a bit, and this is going to come straight off the back of the rifle. And this contains your mainspring as well as this rod, and then if you look in there, there's a little bit of a rubber buffer there to kind of deaden the impact at the end of the travel for the bolt. And that's basically all you need here. You can kind of see how this adjusts a little bit. Kind of weird that these have an adjustable stock again, but that is a feature. Next step is fairly simple. We're going to get our bolt carrier group out of here, so all you got to do is pull back on the charging handle, and then your bolt carrier group will just pop straight out the back of the rifle there, so not too difficult. Something I wanted to demonstrate real quick is how you can go ahead and swap the ejection port cover to eject from the left side. All you gotta do is pull back and up a little bit, so this is your top cover here, and then you can see it's open on this side right now. Come over here and you can see we have this little pin, so if we pull on that pin, it's gonna pop right out, and at this point, you can go ahead and pop open that ejection port. So if we come back to the other side, close this one, take this pin and insert it in there, then that makes it so it's left-hand eject as far as the ejection goes. Then all you got to do is take this, slide it back down, and your ejection port covers have been swapped. Now looking at our bolt carrier group, you can see it's AR-18 style overall, and it comes apart pretty easily here. So we go ahead and start out by taking a cartridge and then poking out our firing pin retaining pin here at the rear, and that's this giant thing, is non-captive. Then we need to come back and remove our firing pin. Now there is a firing pin safety right here, so you can kind of see me lifting up on that. So you're going to have to lift up on that and pull out your firing pin, and your firing pin spring will come with it. At this point, we're ready to go ahead and take out our cam pins, so you can see it right there in the channel. So just move it all the way to the back and then give it a little tap, and it should go ahead and pop out there. So you can see it's kind of eccentric, and that kind of helps with or it's necessary for swapping between left and right eject on this rifle. So at this point, we can go ahead and pull our bolt straight out the front. As you can see, this is again an AR-15, AR-18 style bolt. It's actually very similar to the G36 or the HK416, which again, this is very similar to in general. But you can actually go ahead and swap this again to either left or right eject, and that's going to be based on the positioning of your extractor and the ejector. So you essentially want the ejector to be on the opposite side of the direction you want it to eject. So for right-hand eject, looking at the front of the bolt carrier group, we're going to go ahead and put it in this way, so you can see the ejector will push the cartridge out this direction. And then if you want it ejecting out to the left, then you put it on the opposite side and it'll shoot out that direction. And that's basically all you need to do for the bolt carrier group. Now moving back to the receiver, there's a couple more things that we can do in the back. In no particular order, let's go ahead and start with the mag well. So there's another pin here that's retained at the front. Go ahead and press that across. And at this point, you can go ahead and just pull straight down on your magazine well, and that will come straight off the bottom of the rifle. And then the next thing we're going to be taking a look at is our trigger pack. So if you can see here, there's a little button in the front of this little block. So if you press in on that button and then you press down on the block, it's going to go ahead and pop your trigger pack out the bottom of the rifle. So just pull down on it. There's a little bit of a gripping area down here, and then your trigger pack will come out. So you can get a good look in there. You can see your hammer and all the mechanism that works your trigger group. Again, this is proprietary, so you're not necessarily going to be able to swap this with AR-15 style trigger groups. And then your bolt catch is going to be at the back here as well. Now moving over to the front of the receiver, we're going to go ahead and take our handguard off. So super easy. There's another pin here at the front. We'll just go ahead and pull that guy across. And then your handguard, really easily, is just going to be popping off the front with a little bit of pressure, exposing your barrel there. So that's pretty much all you got to do to get the handguard off. With the handguard off, we can go ahead and remove our optics rail. And to do that, you can see this giant button here on the side. It's actually on both sides of the rifle. And what you need to do is you need to press in on that, and then you got to lift up on the back, and eventually it's going to go ahead and pop up like that. It does take a little bit of pressure. And then if you just hinge it a little bit, then it'll pop off the front. And you can see this comes out with our charging handle, which is just on the top here, non-reciprocating again. And that's basically it. And then it locks in here at the front, as well as with that button here at the back of the receiver. Now, taking a look at the rest of the rifle, you can see the mechanism that hooks in to that rail there and helps it to maintain zero, and then it just hooks in under that thing at the front as well. And the last part of disassembly is going to be taking out our short stroke gas piston system. So this comes apart very easily. Basically, you have this little rod here, and what you need to do is pull back on it while keeping the piston all the way to the front, and pull up, and it's gonna pop out to the side here. So you can see this is your intermediate rod here along with the piston return spring. So pretty simple there. And then all you have to do from there is go ahead and pull the piston out of the gas block. And looking at this piston here, you can see it's essentially identical to what you have in the HK416 or the G36. So it's got that little nub in there in the front that releases all the gases once it reaches a certain position and travel. And that's basically all you need to do to disassemble the VHS. And real quick at the end here, I want to give you guys a good look inside of the receiver itself, just to get an idea of what it would be like to clean and maintain this. As you can see, you basically just have the magwell area as well as the ejection port to actually get in there and clean inside the receiver. So it's really, really tight in there overall. You can see inside there, so you can kind of get some brushes into the inside of the receiver. But again, it's very tight, so maintenance on this is a bit of a chore, but not as bad as, say, the X95. All right, guys, and that is the VHS-2 or the Springfield Hellion fully disassembled. So you can see there's a little bit involved in it, but it is not that terrible. So please like, share, subscribe, help out the channel there. And I should have more stuff coming out here in the near future. So have a wonderful day.